Hello everyone. So today's topic is the factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. We already know that in last class we have discussed about Ohm's law, and while we discussed Ohm's law we come across a new quantity called as resistance. There at that time we have discussed what is the resistance of a conductor. It is some property of the resistor, or we can say conductor, due to which it opposes any flow of current or charges through itself, or we can say simply opposition offered by the conductor to the path of electric current is called as resistance of that conductor or material, right? So from there we have understood what is the cause of resistance, and we have come across that whenever during the flow of electrons, because in metallic conductors which we are taking here, during the flow of electrons in the metallic conductors from one end of the conductor to the other end of the conductor, they face collisions with other particles present in the conductor, right? So due to these collisions the motion of the electrons get opposed or prohibited, not prohibited but opposed by some of course amount or degree, right? So whenever the motion of electrons is opposed, that means the flow of current is also opposed. So that opposition offered to the flow of electric current, or we can say electrons, is called as the resistance of that conductor. Now we will take the concept of factors. We will discuss some factors which affect the resistance of any conductor, right? So from the Ohm's law we know that V is nothing but I times R, where R is the constant which I have introduced here as constant of proportionality. So from here R comes out to be V upon I, or if we calculate here I, which is more important term, so I it is given to be V upon R. So from here we understand that if resistance of the conductor is more, then current through the conductor will be less. More is the resistance, less is the current. Less is the resistance, hence more is the current. If we want the current to be more in a conductor, then the conductor should be of minimum resistance. So that is what this formula tells us about. Now we talk about the factors which affect the presence of resistance in the conductor. So the very first factor we take is the length of the conductor. So whenever we take the conductors of different lengths, it affects the resistance of that particular conductor. So how does it affect? Suppose that we have this conductor of some particular length, or let me extend it up to here. So this is a conductor which has some length, right? Howsoever it may be, let me represent it by L. So the electrons which have to start from one end and has to reach to the other end in order to create a flow of current, not to create but get converted into a flow of electric current. The effect of movement of the electrons in one particular direction is the electric current. So during the path of this electron, during the motion of this electron, in its path it faces the collision with other atoms of the we can say conductor, or ions of the conductor, or other particles present in the conductor, due to which the motion of this electron is opposed, hence the motion of the flow of current is opposed, which is we call as the resistance. Whenever there is a longer conductor, when we have a long conductor, that means the electron faces more number of collision, it will face more number of collision during its motion, right? Because length of conductor is more, so it will face more number of collision, and hence more number of collision, it simply means more resistance. So that means the length affect the resistance by what relationship? That resistance of the conductor increases as the length of the conductor increases. That means resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. More length of the conductor is, more resistance of the conductor will be there. The second factor is area of cross section, right? So area of cross section. So how the area of cross section affect the resistance of the conductor. So suppose that this is the one conductor, it has this area A, and we have another conductor having area double. This second conductor length is same, but the area of the second conductor is double the previous one. So it is twice A, or you can simply write it as A. It is either you can write it as 2A, or I can also write it as A, the area of a conductor, right? So in the first case, I am trying to explain what is the effect of area of cross section of the conductor on the resistance. So in first case, it has the smaller area, so electron has some narrow path to cross the given area of cross section. So at a point, the electron will have some path, or we can say some area through which the electrons can move across. And in second case, the area of cross section is more, so that means electrons find more wide paths to cross. So that means there can be more number of electrons which can cross the given point. So this is the point, we have drawn an area cross section of the conductor here, and this is the point, same point at the location, for example from one end. We have also drawn the area cross section around this point, right? So from here we understand that there will be more number of electrons which can cross this area cross section at this point, and here there will be less number of electrons because the area is less, right? So that means if more electrons can cross the given area cross section in one unit time, that means it has more current, which is representing the less resistance, right? So this one has less resistance because of its large area, and this one has large resistance because it has short area. So that is why thin wire always have higher resistance and thick wire always have low resistance, right? So we can, from here we understand that resistance inversely varies with the area of cross section. So if we want the resistance of the wire to be minimum, we have to keep its area large as possible, right? So we can compare this situation with the daily life examples. Just like in case of electric room heaters, the wire of the room heater which is used from the plug to the heater, it is quite of thickness, right? And if we want to connect from the same distance a simple bulb of 25 watt, then the wire can be thick. We don't require any high thickness of the wire, because in order to make a bulb glow or make a bulb work, we require only some amount of current, whereas in case of heater it requires a large amount of current. So in order to make the large current to flow, we require a thick wire. So that is the reason. Third factor, it is the temperature. Temperature affects the resistance of the conductor. How? So there is a relationship, but before we discuss the relationship, let us try to understand the effect of temperature. Even at room temperature, all the particles or ions or atoms present in any metallic conductor, they keep on vibrating around their positions, right? Whenever the temperature of the conductor is raised, these atoms or ions which keep on vibrating around their fixed positions, these atoms gains the energy due to increase in temperature. Why the temperature will increase? Whenever some heat energy is given to the conductor, the energy given to the conductor is attached with the energy of the atoms, right? So with that energy, these atoms or ions will start vibrating with even more amplitudes, wider amplitudes, right? So due to this, the electrons which are moving, they will face even more number of collisions, because atoms or ions keeps on vibrating, so electrons will face even more number of collision. So that means with the increase in temperature, the number of collision of the electrons with the atoms increases, because the atoms or ions starts vibrating even with we can say higher magnitude. So therefore number of collision increases, the value of resistance also increases. So that means resistance is directly proportional to temperature, and there is a relationship that how the resistance of a conductor is related to the change in temperature. So the relationship is that Suppose that we have some resistance R naught at 0 degree Celsius and we have some temperature R at some other temperature, for example theta degree Celsius. This is the temperature which is higher than 0 degree Celsius. So therefore the new resistance can be found by this relationship R, new resistance R at this temperature, it is given by R naught into 1 plus alpha into theta. So this is the formula. Here R naught and theta are known. R naught is the initial temperature at 0 degree Celsius and theta is the temperature change, T2 minus T1. So theta is the change in the temperature. And alpha is the constant for the given material of the substance and it is called as the temperature coefficient of the particular substance of which the conductor is made up of. So it is a constant for given materials. So it according to this relationship we can calculate the value of R. So from here we understand that new resistance, it will be directly proportional to the change in temperature. More is the change in temperature, more will be the resistance, because more number of collision will electron will face. So this is how the temperature affect the resistance of any conductor. So from here we understand that R, it is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha theta. You can put this equation in different forms. And the last factor which affect the resistance of a conductor is the material or substance of which the conductor is made up of. Whether the given conductor is of copper or steel or iron or silver, right, its resistance will change accordingly, because all these material have different values of resistances. Hence all these factors affect the resistance of a conductor. So that is all for now. From here we understand, from these two relationships we can write a formula for the resistance for the dimensions of the conductor. So how does the resistance of a conductor depends upon the dimensions. So R is proportional to, it is L upon A, because L is with L R varies directly and with A R varies inversely. And from here we get an equation with some constant of proportionality which we represent as rho into L upon A. So this is the formula for the resistance based on the factors which affect the resistance of the conductor. And here this constant of proportionality, it is called as the resistivity. This is another very important term which I am going to take on now. So what is resistivity of a conductor? So from here we get this formula R, it is equal to rho into L upon A. So this is one formula for the resistance, and from this formula we understand that R is equal to rho into L upon A. Rho is the resistivity of the conductor, which is a constant for the conductor at some particular temperature. Of course, if temperature changes, this parameter also changes. So while we discuss Ohm's law, we take that temperature remains constant so that these values can hold true. Only then the Ohm's law relationship between V and I will be applicable. So from here, if we try to understand what is resistivity, resistivity is also a constant for the conductor, of which we are calculating the resistance by using this formula. So resistivity of the conductor, so it is nothing but it is the resistance of a conductor having area or having length 1 meter. In SI system the units of length are 1 meter, having length 1 meter and area of cross section 1 meter square. So whenever a conductor have length equal to 1 meter and its area cross section is 1 meter square, then its resistance is called as resistivity of that particular conductor, or not the conductor, of the material, right? Precisely it is the resistivity of a particular material. So this is what we understand from the resistivity of a conductor or a substance. So resistivity of a substance is something a defined resistance. It is we call it to be defined resistance or specified resistance because the dimensions of the conductor are defined, or we can say already given the values. The length is given value 1 meter and area cross section is given value 1 meter square. So whatever is the length of the conductor, its resistivity remains a constant term, because we are finding the resistivity only when the dimensions are of this much parameter, 1 unit. Length is 1 unit and area of cross section is also 1 unit. Only that distance is called as resistivity. So even if the dimensions length changes, area of cross section changes, then its resistance may change, but its resistivity remains constant, because resistivity is already defined for the specified length and specified area of the cross section. That is what is the difference between resistivity and the resistance. So from here, this formula we can write the resistivity to be, from this formula, R is there on the right side, A it goes to the other side, it multiplies, and L it goes to the other side, it divides. So we get the formula for resistivity as this. So we get the formula. That does not mean if value of A or L changes, resistivity will change. Value of A and L are already defined while we discussed or defined the resistivity of a given material of the conductor. So from here we say that if A it is 1 meter square, it is R, it is 1 meter square, area cross section is 1 meter square and length is 1 meter. So from here we understand that resistivity, it is nothing but R. From here we understand it numerically, it is nothing but R. So numerically resistivity is nothing but the resistance, but it is the resistance of area cross of the conductor having area cross section 1 meter square and length 1 meter. Okay. And what are the units? Units for the resistivity. From here we understand the units of resistance are ohm. Resistance is measured in ohm. This is the symbol for ohm, or we write it as OHM, right? So symbolically it is written as this. So it is ohm into A. So units for A are meter square in SI system, and the units for L are meter. So from here we understand that 1 meter cancels out, so real units for resistivity are left with ohm meter. So this is the unit for resistivity, or we can also write it them ohm dash meter, because mm, otherwise it will confuse. So we put a dash here, so it is ohm meter. So this is about the factors affecting the resistance and the resistivity of a conductor. That's all for now. Thank you.